Hola, soy Christopher Go. Estoy aquí en Madrid con Astrocity. Now that you have decided that you want to do planetary imaging, how do you go about it? Now, we're going to talk about how to choose the right equipment. The first equipment that you need is a telescope. Now, which telescope would I recommend? I would gladly recommend a Schmidt-Cassegrain telescope. Although you can do planetary imaging with any telescope, the reason why I would recommend a Schmidt-Cassegrain is because of its compact design and its lightweight. Now, the bigger the telescope that you have, the higher resolution, the faster frame rates you can capture. But of course, you have to go through the telescope within your budget. The next important thing, and I would say this is a very important thing, is you have to have a stable mount. That's why I always recommend a Schmidt-Cassegrain, because it requires less mount to have a stable mount with a Schmidt-Cassegrain because of its lighter weight and a smaller size compared to other telescope designs. The next important decision that you have to make is to choose the right camera. Now, before, when planetary imaging started, the camera to use was the webcams. The problem with the webcams is they tend to be noisy and very slow in frame rate, and of course they had to use compression because a webcam is used to project or to transfer videos to the internet. Right now, what we're using are machine vision video cams or dedicated planetary cams, which are being developed by different companies. Right now, I'm using the QHY290. Now, these high-speed machine vision cams or high-speed planetary cameras, one big advantage they have is, first of all, they have very, very fast frame rates and very low noise. Now, the next decision that you have to make, are you going to use a color camera or a monochrome camera? For a beginner, I would always recommend the color camera because it's very easy to use. It's not complicated. The only problem with color camera is the biggest problem is when the planets are not high, you're having problems with atmospheric dispersion. Now, what is atmospheric dispersion? It means that the three colors will not focus on the same plane. Now, there are ways to fight this. The first is having an accessory called, you need the atmospheric dispersion corrector or the ADC, which is available from ZWO. It's quite inexpensive, but sometimes it might be difficult to use, but for beginner, I would highly recommend it. The second problem with the color cam is the Bayer layers. One thing about the color cam, it has three filters or three sensors to make a color picture. And the problem is when you're using it for planetary imaging, you'll notice that you'll see grid marks on your images. Now, for the more advanced imager, I would always recommend the monochrome camera because with a monochrome camera, using the three filters, it's the best way to fight the atmospheric dispersion. The only problem with monochrome cameras, it's a little more complicated to use, and not only that, it's more expensive because you need to purchase the filter wheel and the filters, which is basically more expensive than the camera itself. But in the end, if you want the best image, a perfect image, you need a monochrome camera. Now, what is the best camera now? The best camera available now is basically the camera that's based on the Sony IMX290. There are two reasons why this camera is basically the standard now. First of all, it's a back illuminated camera. You can see here that the back illuminated camera has the wirings are on the back of the camera, making it a lot more sensitive than the older cameras. In fact, it's basically about 20 to 30% more sensitive than the old cameras or the non-back illuminated cameras. And the second reason why this camera is so impressive is because it's very low noise. So basically right now, this is basically the standard, the IMX290. there are a couple of companies that are selling these cameras, and right now I'm using the QHY version. Now, other accessories you need, well, you need a Barlow, a good quality Barlow, to basically increase the magnification of your images. If you're using a monochrome camera, you would need a motorized filter wheel, which is basically which you can automate the changes of the filter. And one thing nice, there are a lot of inexpensive motorized filter wheels available now. For monochrome cameras, you need the RGB filter, and some special filters which are really important for planetary research. These are the UV, IR, and the methane band. The methane band is very important for professional astronomers because with this filter, you can see high altitude clouds on Jupiter and even on other planets. Now, another equipment that will be a big help are the flip mirrors. It will help you basically center the planet, and this is very important because most of the time when we're imaging planet, it's about 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning and your brain is not 100%, and it can get frustrating with a small field of view camera to center the object you want to capture. Then another important equipment that you need is a motorized focuser. Now, if you want to do fine focusing, it's difficult to do it with the manual focusing. And if you have a Schmidt-Cassegrain, I would highly recommend that you have a Crayford focuser. Now, the last equipment might not sound important, but these inexpensive devices, the vibration suppression pods, especially when you're imaging on cement surface, it's very important that you use this vibration suppression pods. It will basically help improve your seeing, quote-unquote seeing, by 2 to 3 points, especially if you want to prevent vibrations from people walking or different sources of vibrations on where you're imaging. So this overlooked accessory really helps, and I use it all the time.